Hi. So this is my morning routine. Usually when I'm in bed, I will do a few bridges. If you have a adjustable base and you can raise your legs up, that'll give you more clearance to get more articulation of the spine. But I like to just roll through the spine to come into a bridge and then roll through the spine to come back down. And this can be done in bed or you can do this later in the day. I do this a couple times a day just to get movement through the spine. And then once my feet hit the ground, I like to do a little mini routine, just letting the arms come up, get a nice extension through the spine, open the chest, bring the arms back. I do this 3 times, just floating the arms up, spreading the fingers, expanding the chest, and just getting a nice little chest expansion, just opening everything up here. And then I take my fingers and interlace them, bring the arms overhead, turn my palms up, soften the knees. And when you go into your side bend, as you're side bending to the right, I actually bend my left knee and drop that hip a little bit. So you get a little side crescent stretch here. And I do this just 2 times to each side. So 4 times total, dropping the knee or dropping the hip when you bend the knee. And then I do some swirling arms and just let the arms swing around, let everything loosen up here. Get some thoracic rotation and just twisting of the spine. Sometimes you get little pops and things if this is your first twist of the day. It's lovely. And then from here, and a variation to this one. So if you're finding that this doesn't work out for you, you can bring your hands behind your head, press your head back, open your chest, rotate through the rib cage. And you can do this in lieu of the swirling arms, or you can do both. So we're just trying to get rotation of the spine. So either one is fine. And then I jump right into TikToks. And TikToks, your arms can go out to the side. You can have them by your sides, whatever feels better. And we're trying to get nice and solid through your middle. So engaging your abdominals and your core to stay nice and solid. Trying to keep the distance of the legs the same distance apart. And just staying really nice and solid, allowing your head, your neck, your shoulders, everything to tip over. And if you start to feel it in the front of your hips, if you press your pubic bone forward, that'll just slightly turn on your bottom. That's going to keep you out of the hip flexors. We want to feel it in the deep hip joint and in around the hip joint. So we have 6 little tiny muscles, they call it the deep 6, that are right in that hip joint that keep the femur kind of sucked in and tracking the way that it needs to track. And this helps keep that femur tracking the way that it needs to track, keeps the femur kind of drawn in and stable, and helps stabilize the hip joint. And I often call it the rotator cuff of the hip because it's the muscles that help internal, external rotation and stabilization in general. So this is a great exercise. You want to work your way up to 2 minutes a day. Sometimes I do this twice a day. So oftentimes when you first get started, you start to feel some warmth in the hips within 30 seconds or 60 seconds, but we work our way up to 2 minutes. And this one, I use the timer on my toothbrush and I multitask. I brush my teeth while I do my TikToks because the timer runs for 2 minutes, and that keeps me accountable and figuring out how long and when to do it. So you want to do this until you start to feel kind of a dull ache. Before it feels like it's stabbing, but just like a little bit of a dull ache, and that's about where you want to go to, even if that's not the full 2 minutes. And then just kind of shaking it out. I actually like to bring the leg forward and just shake like this, because it gives you that internal, external rotation of the hip and kind of massages those deep 6 muscles quite nicely. But any way to kind of loosen things up or shift or swirl your pelvis, anything that feels good. And that's my morning routine.